Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Titanic. Say the word and everyone everywhere knows the story. Whether you know the name because you saw the movie or know the name because you spent the bulk of your life in the 20th century, you still know the name Titanic means huge, gargantuan, immense. The word Titanic, which rhymes with gigantic, brings visions of unstoppable power, immovable force, and impenetrable resistance. The Titanic really set the tone for the next 100 years, when 100 million people would be killed in the bloodiest century on record. In that single ship, the most advanced engineering, the heights of luxury and lavish design, the cutting edge of ingenuity were combined and epitomized. There was nothing greater or grander than the Titanic. And she sank on her maiden voyage. The epitome of progress was destroyed by a big chunk of hard blue water, an iceberg. Now today, our 21st century Titanics have different names and more subtle sinkings. Here are the names of some 21st century Titanics. General Motors, Shearson Lehman, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Chrysler, Pontiac, Oldsmobile. So many of us put so much of ourselves and so much of our livelihoods aboard these Titanics. Why? Well, we were convinced that they were far too big to fail. But eventually, the icebergs came. Nothing. No one. No business. No nation. No ideology. Nothing is too big to fail. No matter how large. No matter how powerful. Companies that are poorly run, inexpertly handled, extravagantly overspent, they will fail. Egyptian dynasties, Roman imperialism, Charlemagne's rule, the Spanish conquests, Louis XIV, Great Britain's empire of the sun, the age of America. All have beginnings and endings. History gives us no example of any nation or company who will climb to the top of the heap and stay there forever. The true downside of incarnation is limitation. That is why Jesus' ministry and message were not about up and down, success or failure, winning or losing. Fittingly, as one both fully human and fully divine, Jesus got to taste the raw flavor of failure at the very onset of his public ministry. Returning to his hometown of Nazareth, Jesus got hit upside the face with the failure of familiarity. How could Jesus have anything profound or inspired to offer the people of Nazareth when they had seen him running down the streets with a droopy diaper? How could the son of Mary, one of apparently questionable parentage and no social standing, be a possible Messiah? How could a mere tecton, a stonemason, a metal worker, a wood carver, a day laborer claim any authority to speak God's word with divine insight? And yet, he did. Jesus returned to Nazareth. Jesus made a point of going home and facing the ultimate test, the home crowd. He knew the expected consequences. He knew the rumors of rejection, that familiarity breeds contempt. But mostly, he knew Nazareth needed the word of God, and he needed to offer the face of God to them first. He longed to give back to them the words of repentance, the spirit of forgiveness, the face of truth, the unction and function of blessing. But Nazareth could not hear. Nazareth was deafened by the din of familiarity. Jesus was a known entity, a common kid. How could he have a new message to offer them? One of the hardest things in the world is to know the familiar. Let's think of high school reunions. Imagine being in the high school class of, let's say, Bill Gates. We can't do college because Gates was a Harvard dropout. But if you had been in Bill Gates' 10-year high school reunion, you would have talked to a hugely geeky guy, a wannabe working on some weirdo ideas about some technological wizardry. 10-year anniversary grade for Bill Gates, loser. But what about the 20th anniversary of the Bill Gates high school reunion? Quite a different story. How about the richest man in the world? Worth billions. No longer a geek, but the Microsoft magnate. Who'd have thunk it? Don't listen to those who tell you some people and companies are too big to fail. No one is beyond failure. No one is too big or too small to fail. Everyone indeed does fail. The key is to know that failing is not failing. Yeah?
Amen.
Losing at one chance or stance in life is no sign that you will always be a loser. Jesus went home to Nazareth and lost. Jesus went to Jerusalem and lost. Jesus went to the crowds and lost. In a majority vote of epic proportions, the crowd called for Barabbas, and Jesus lost.
Amen.
It doesn't matter what you lose to. It only matters what you lose for. You don't fudge on the quality control factors it is your job to measure. You get fired for being a whistleblower. You lose. You don't turn in the struggling single parent you notice slipping an extra cheese stick into their grocery bag. You get called on the carpet for coddling a criminal. Your pay gets docked. You lose. You step up and put yourself between an abusive parent and their kid. You get bruises. You lose. You refuse to participate in a corporate glad-handing game. You are earmarked as a troublemaker. You lose. You see your crowd of good kids targeting a social reject and mocking them for being different. And you don't get along. You are ostracized. You lose. One of the most magnificent divine disclosures that Jesus could have ever given to humanity is today's gospel text in Mark. Jesus is told by people he loves that he is just a no-count nobody from a nowhere place called Nazareth. What does he think he's doing? Who does he think he is? What made him too big for his britches? Jesus is utterly rejected by a community, not because of what he knows, but because of what they know about him. We all fail. We're all turned away by people we love. Our pie crusts are doughy. Our finances are flaky. Our businesses are iffy.
Amen.
While our rationales are solid. One of the most gracious gifts Jesus gave to his disciples, both the original 12 and all of us who strive to follow in their footsteps, is the sacrament of failure. Shake the dust off your feet and move on.
Amen.
Not everyone will receive you. Not everyone will love you. Not everyone will appreciate you. Not every sermon I deliver to you is brilliant and beautiful. In fact, I've been right in the middle of sermons that have fallen flat as a pancake, and I've started shuffling my feet.
Amen.
I take the sacrament of failure. But when you do fail, and when you do fall and fail forward. The most amazing thing about the sacrament of failure is that it is not failure. Failure is just a different word for a new beginning. New beginnings are the first word in a new life, a redeemed life. Here's one little example. The destruction of the Titanic brought forth a new respect and understanding of the power of the natural world, the untapped energy of the universe. Eventually, understanding that energy brought the beginning of knowledge as nuclear energy, the most unimaginable powers of fusion and fission that lie behind our visits to the moon and our trips to outer space. When Jesus counseled his first disciples to shake off the dust from their feet, they were to shake off their souls from those people and places that produce only negative energy, negative power. Not one of us can control the negative powers of the universe. Not one of us can rebuff the negative powers of the universe. But regardless of what we cannot control, we can decide what our own involvement in those powers and principalities will be. We can decide whether or not to participate in those powers that shift, shape, and shimmy in our lives.
Amen.
What's involvement in taking that what we are calling Jesus' sacrament of failure. First, Jesus says for us to wade right in. Take few protective provisions and instead trust yourself and your well-being to those about whom you know little. In other words, take risks for the gospel. Second, read the signs. If the people you encounter are welcoming of Jesus' presence and power, then dwell among them. But if they reject what you know is right and good, Jesus gives a different directive. There are signs that tell you whether the seeds you are planting are taking root or whether they're falling on rocks and weeds.
Amen.
Third, get out of there. Failure does not lead to complacency or passivity. Failure leads to activity and purpose. You fail. You fail. You fall forward. You fall and you fall forward. Get yourself up. Shake yourself off and move on. Or as Jesus put it, shake the dust off your feet. Today this might mean resigning a job. This might mean quitting an abusive relationship. This might mean passing over a lucrative partnership. But most importantly of all, and this is number 4, keep your dreams alive.
Amen.
Keep your dreams alive with clean slates and clean souls. S-O-L-E-S and S-O-U-L-S.
Amen.
Nobody is too big to fail. But nobody is too small to prevail.
Amen.
Jesus' failure at Nazareth shows us how to triumph at life. The stark humanity of Jesus, the very thing that caused Nazareth to reject him, is what led him to the cross and to prevail over our sin and death. For it was only on that cross that God could triumph over failure, over fallibility, over death. Do you hear it? Jesus' first step toward Golgotha was taken in Nazareth, in his hometown, in his home synagogue, where he was rejected and turned away. Your greatest successes will come from your greatest failures. Nobody is too big to fail. Nobody is too small to prevail. Nobody is too big to fail. Nobody is too small to prevail.
Amen.
Amen.
I almost want to clap. That was really good.
I got chills on that one.
Told you. Now take it to heart. Put yourself in those shoes. Save your souls and your souls.
I did like that clip.
The announcements, please. Do we have been working yet over here? Hey,
Mine's working.
very good. Boom, announcements. There it is. So let's start with the typical ones. Pray at DallasULC.com. Pray at DallasULC.com. You have a prayer request? Hey, we have an email address for you. You can remain anonymous. You can tell us your name, whatever you want to do. This is your email. Tell us what your prayer requests are. We pray here every day at the church. If you'd like to be in the bulletin, if you'd like us to pray as a community, if you'd like to recognize that prayer in the bulletin, we can do that as well. Again, you can remain anonymous, or you can offer your name as well.
Even if it's like a suggestion that you think we should mention, we might not always catch it. Like I was lucky that I saw CNN talking about how they were getting those kids out, or trying to get those kids out of the caves today. We might not always catch it or remember or something.
I mean, obviously, with breaking news like that, I mean,
Yeah.
it's constant. You know, it's not going to be right there in the bulletin for us to. We can't print it that quickly. You know, if we all had iPads and had up-to-date service, we'd just boom, 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 there it is, and it changes as we go. But we're not going to be doing it that way, unfortunately, yet. Soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all know we had a podcast?
I know.
Have y'all ever heard that podcast before? It's really pretty good for right here.
The screen is getting full.
Let me tell you something, folks. We did it again. So, podcasts. We have it on Castbox, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and guess what? Spotify. We just got picked up by Spotify, guys. It's a big one. Yeah, that's almost as big as Google Podcasts. I think that's great. I mean, I listen to Spotify almost every day, and to go on there and pull up our church and our scripture and our our teachings and my face. I mean, that's the worst of it. I mean, that's the worst thing.
I mean, you can say you're on Spotify now.
I'm on Spotify, and we're on Spotify, is what more importantly, and the message is on Spotify. So, guys, great news for us, and I think that's great. Now, if you want to know, look, you can go just about anywhere now and search for Your Path with Bishop Mark. Your Path, go to Google search Your Path with Bishop Mark. You're going to find our podcast right there.
We're literally at that point where we can be like NPR and say, find us anywhere you listen to your podcast.
Pretty much. I think we have one or two more that's still available.
Anchor has, I believe, two more, and then like one of them is one that we would have to deliberately go through and sign up policy.
We'll get it done.
And they're constantly expanding their own.
Okay, so, yes, so podcast, great ideas, great news. And you know what? The whole point is, it's not about being conceited or being narcissistic. It's about the message is getting out there. Absolutely, the message is getting out there.
We're at like 25 average listens
Per episode. 25 per, and that's like putting 25 more people in our seats every week. That's pretty damn good. I'm proud of it. I can change the life of one person.
Yeah.
One person. If I can do a million, I'm going to do it. If I can do a billion, I'm going to do it.
Heck, we even got an excited YouTube comment on our YouTube channel the other day.
I expect to have many more of those. Did y'all see that on YouTube? If you haven't checked it, there's a young lady who's been following us for several weeks, and every week she's been coming back with, that's just what I needed to hear.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's just what, thank you again. That's just what I needed to hear.
Now we need to hear more of you guys out there.
Absolutely. So, feedback at DallasULC.com. Feedback at DallasULC.com. Perfect for our podcast people and our YouTube people. We can't see your face. We can't see what you're thinking. So tell us. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? This is your chance. Feedback at DallasULC.com. Is that all you got from me right now? So guess what, folks? I have another big announcement for you. This is going to change the face of our church as we know it.
We'll add a face at least.
Yeah. As many of you know, I offered a deaconship basically on the table not too long ago, and kind of left it open for a couple of people to take it to heart and think about it and decide whether they were ready for it. It took a long time for me to get an answer, not only for myself, to where I was happy with the answer and comfortable with the fact that this person has decided that they are ready. But I'm elated to announce that the offer of deaconship has been accepted by Justin Parkane. So Justin will become our new deacon. Within the next 30 days, we'll be scheduling a special service. It will be an ordination. We'll probably do it on a Sunday, on the same day, just to kind of keep it nice and simple. We'll do it on Sunday, and we'll just do a special ordination mass for you, where you will receive the laying of hands to become a deacon in our church. Now, I want you to step up here for a second, and I want you to just very quickly, very briefly, tell us what brought you to finally, after so much waiting time, decide that you were ready. So just come over and talk to us a little bit.
There was something about last week's service. I don't know why. There was just some weird. There was just a moment sitting there reading it and listening to it that it just finally was that final step, I guess.
What were the words in her that you remember?
Not at all. It was the feeling of all of us here.
Last week was amazing.
And then it was a great week for some reason. It was just the 4th of July and all that other stuff was just, it was good fellowship that we had here.
We had a good crowd. Here. I mean, anytime we have anybody here, it's a good crowd. But look, I'm elated. I'm actually ecstatic that I think Justin is qualified. I think he's got the desire. I think he's got the gumption to make this happen. This is not an easy position. I mean, you're basically, I hate to put it this way, but you're my right-hand man now. So, I mean, he will be, basically, if I'm not here, if I'm unable to be here, it's him. He's the second command now. So, Don't give it up for Justin Partain, our deacon elect, if you will. Congratulations, Justin. We'll be talking soon to get your ordination set up. Okay? Y'all be ready for that. It'll be a big day. It's a big day. It's a big day for anybody. Ordination is huge. I mean, it's a big day for our church. It's a big day for him. You know, more importantly, it really is a big day for all of us because it reminds us of how we are to serve. We're here to serve. And it's not about, standing up here in all pretty clothes that are very hot. Look, it takes a lot of work to make these things happen. And y'all seen that. All of you see that. You see behind the scenes how much work it takes. And, we're human. Things happen. But we try and make it as perfect as we possibly can. We're a small church putting out a pretty big production every week.
And y'all do realize that means there's going to be a butt back here.
Right. That's the next thing.
There's gonna be a what?
That's the next thing. I need a trainee, guys. I need a trainee for, this is some big shoes to fill. Who's going to take over Justin's position during the service, which means you'll be running the PowerPoint, you'll be running the teleprompter,
And running the recording.
right, and recording the AV, all the AV stuff, all the sound, taking care of the teleprompter, make sure it's all set up properly. Listen, I need somebody to step up for that. You don't think about it. And listen, you saw today how things happen, right? You saw that, sound goes out. What do?
Gotta figure it out.
You figure it out. You do, because you just can't stop in the middle of the service and go, I'm sorry. Can we, I do it all the time on my sermon. Can we back it up? But, it really doesn't work too well.
Yeah.
It just kind of messes with things. So, yeah.
But that also means there's going to be another butt out there, too, that gets filled by y'all's.
Still waiting for y'all to put some butts in these seats. What's the holdup? Don't even answer it now. Just think about it. Because guess what we're going to do today during our after service? I even gave you an extra week. I had some homework a couple weeks ago. I hope y'all remember it.
Yes.
All right, guys. Great news today. I mean, I've been on cloud nine all day because of this news, and you should be too. It's a great sacrifice he's making. He already gives of his time generously, overly generously to this church. He doesn't get paid. And he does all of this, and now he's taking on another role as deacon of the church. Still won't get paid. I don't get paid either. Well, it's not money. Trust me. It's worth it. Every single week it's worth it. All right, so what'd you like? What'd you not like? What do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? All right, so today, Jesus goes back to fabulous Nazareth.
I'm sorry, I love your badge that you've never worn in our roundtable before.
Thank you. Yeah, I decided to start wearing my badge again.
We're going to have to start having
So
security badges.
everybody knows who I am.
Just in case you forget.
Just in case you forget that I am clergy. You'll have one soon. So,
I told him there's gonna be no living with him now.
yeah, but let me tell you something. There's going to be no living without him either. Because, he's invaluable to our team. I'm ecstatic, like I said, I'm ecstatic to have him accept the position. And the ordination will be an extraordinary process that most of you have not ever experienced. It'll be a lot of fun.
I don't know what it is about today, but it was very, obviously we've had many, they're all good. But I mean, this one was really, there was,
What touched you?
well, just, I mean, it was kind of like, rooting for the underdogs type notion of
A little bit.
or, just that anyone can prevail above the nastiness that the world can throw at them, and that you can always prevail, you can always overcome, and
Well,
you have to.
Nobody's too big to fail. Nobody's too small to prevail.
This is your first sermon where you really buried the lead there at the end. You actually held out to the very end before you gave it up.
What?
You're not too small to prevail.
But I said in the title.
You didn't say the title, though.
The title's right there on the program.
I don't think the podcast land can see that.
You're right, they can't.
Well,
So, what about that, though? Do you believe that? Can you see what I'm saying? That nobody's too big to fail. I mean, look at what happened. Look at all those big giants that fell in the last century. But nobody's too small to prevail.
Well, they were also small at whenever they started out.
Yeah, but when they
Whenever
fell,
started out.
when they fell, and they were big.
So they took it's easy. I'm sure they easily took their position for granted. Their position in the marketplace, they didn't think that they could ever fail. I mean, and then
Everything and everybody fails.
You forgot to put BlackBerry up in there.
BlackBerry's another one, yeah.
The-
There were a lot in that century that failed that I could have. I mean, it could go on and on and on and on with that.
you mean, when you say everyone, but you mean at some point or another, right?
Everybody
Yeah.
will fail.
Yeah.
And that doesn't consider this century. No way. The financial crisis from this one.
Everybody and everything will fail. Let's let him get his. He's getting ready to go home. He's heading back to Weatherford today, so his ride is here. So we'll let him get his things. He had to leave us a little early today. That's okay. At least he was able to stay for part of the service. And I'm grateful for that. So
Feel a little bit better now.
good. It's draining. This business is a tough one. Sundays are a celebration day. It's all the stuff that goes into it during the week. That's the hard part. Today's kind of supposed to be the day that we kind of enjoy it, but it's a lot of work. I mean, I put a lot on this guy over here, as far as responsibility for the service to go the way it goes. I mean, he steps it up every week.
You should have taken a nap already.
Huh?
You should-
Well, I sent him out. I mean, he was going to pick up a couple of congregants that were going to come. He missed them, unfortunately. They missed each other. There's just some miscommunications. Unfortunately, they did not make it. I couldn't send him back out when service time started, obviously, but he did that.
Yeah.
Well, he could have been here setting up and taking a little break before service, but no. All right, buddy.
See you later.
Have a safe trip back.
Be safe out there.
Be in touch with me.
Mhm.
All righty. Be good.
I get one too.
Yep. And we'll keep you in our prayers. You do the same for us. And we'll see you before next weekend.
Okay.
All right. Keep in touch with me. Let me know when you get home safely.
Bye, Caleb.
See you all later.
All righty. Okay. I mean, think about it. When you are with your family, I'm going to give you a perfect example here. My father has never attended a service that I've held. I mean, we've been doing this for, we've been alive for 2 years, and we've been doing services for almost 2 years. And, he's been in town at times, and he's just never come to a service. And occasionally when he calls, he asks, how's your church doing? None of the rest of my family's been here either, except for Aunt Patsy. She's been to one service.
Think maybe they watched on YouTube?
No. Because you understand, I am first of all, I'm just the kid still in a lot of their eyes, Yeah. And they saw me in my droopy diaper.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also the family, I took over my mother's role as the family black sheep for a while, which is, I think it's what makes me so much better at this job. Because I think that those who go to high school, then go to college, then go directly into seminary, and then directly to their church, they're a bit sheltered. It's kind of hard to relate to a lot of those people that we try to relate to here. And I'm not holier than thou. Believe me, I'm not. And when I get up here and share my experience with you and share what I know and what God has taught me, it's not to boast. It's to share. It's to teach. It's to try and make the world a better place. And let me tell you something. A lot of the things I say up here are pretty embarrassing because I'm embarrassed about some of the things I've done. I'm embarrassed. But all of those things make me, like I said, who I am today. Without one of those things happening, I may not be sitting here right now. Maybe 6 feet under right now. Who knows? But by the grace of God, I'm here and hopefully changing some lives. And that's my goal. Like I've told you, if I can just change one life, then I've done what I set out to do. But
If you've done that one, you always need to do at least
there's always another one. There's always another one. And like I said, if I can do 1 million, I will. If I can do 1 billion, I will. I will if I can do it.
As long as I got that one, though.
Just that one.
Yeah.
I keep that one going. And that doesn't mean just because I finished the one doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well,
It means
who even
on to
said,
the next one.
Who even said you're ever finished with your first one?
Are you ever finished? because there's
Because
always
a person's life can change many different times in many different directions.
keep coming back, right?
Yeah.
Church has gotten a name for itself. It is. There are certain things we do. There's certain practices we do, and there's certain reverence that we have to take. We have to be a certain way. We're doing a ceremony here. We're remembering something that's we need to show some respect to. But the important thing to remember about being here is the reason you're here. Yes, you're here to show respect and praise God and worship, but you're here for yourself. First of all, then you're here for each other. I've told y'all over and over and over and over again, every Sunday I learn something new about the Bible, about you, about God, about faith, about myself. And I find that experience invaluable. I could not put a dollar sign on it. You couldn't take this away from me. I don't care. You can't take it away from me. It's mine. It's ours.
I mean, it's so much different from a classic Bible study. I mean, first off, all of those...
We're not classic people.
'Cause, I mean, the churches I've been to with their Bible studies, you end up getting shunned off into a windowless room oftentimes with people your own age, and they all think the same.
You miss out on that.
And they all talk the same and everything else.
You miss out. You miss out because, look, and I think it's one of the biggest problems we have in our society is the way we treat our elderly.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, tell you something. With age comes wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And just they may tell you a whole bunch of things. Listen to your elders. Listen to the stories they have to tell. There's going to be a whole bunch of junk in there too. A bunch of stuff you don't need. But I guarantee you, something in there you can use.
Even the stuff that you think you might not need could be a funny thing to tell some other time.
A funny thing to tell you might be something that saves your life too, believe it or not.
That random weird nugget that was in there that didn't mean anything 20 years ago.
File it away. Let me tell you, as I'm getting older, it's strange. I mean, because it's just strange getting older. But I feel a sense of responsibility to the younger generations, you guys, to pass on what I know. Because I think if I hold on to that, it's doing you a disservice. It's doing me a disservice, saying, why did I go through this if not to pass it on? And hopefully, and most of the time you don't, most of the youth, they don't listen, they rebel, and they have to go through it themselves. But there are times I think that if you just catch on and listen and realize, hey, you know what, I've been there. I'm not trying to tell you this for any other reason but the fact that I've been there, and if you listen to this, I've already been through that part. I know you want to go through it yourself, but just try and trust me on this one. You don't have to hurt like this. You don't have to put yourself through that pain. I've already taken on that pain. I've already done it. Let me tell you how it ends up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it should have been. This is where you should have gone. Yeah, like I said, 99% of the time, I listened to the same thing when I was, a teenager and between my 20s. I got it. I understand. Just let me handle this. I'm a grown adult. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I ended up going through the same thing, doing the same damn thing that they did, and making the same mistakes, and realizing in the end, hey, you know what? They were right. I'm not asking you to say that everything I say is right. I'm just asking you to listen. Listen to what I tell you. Listen to the stories. Listen to what God has provided me to provide to you. And take what you can use and leave the rest. But file some of that away, because guess what? So if you think you can't use right now, you'll be able to use later on.
You being able to use it as a flashlight to be able to see more than just that one path that's ahead of you now. You're able to see the other possibilities that exist from that same choice as well.
We have a path.
We got to keep bringing back. We're going back to the path. At
Believe
least.
it or not, failure is included on that path too. God put it there. We're gonna fail. You have to fail sometimes to build. That's new beginnings, right? That's what it talks about. It's like your failure is the new life. You're starting over again. In little ways and big ways. I mean, every day we have some sort of failure. We do. So they're not all catastrophic, thank God. Because I think we'd all have, I have a lot more gray hair now than I already do,
Well, like the failure with the computer today, I was just that much quicker because of the first time we failed with it.
Now we can just get it fixed.
Now, yeah.
We're a small church running on small or little to nothing as far as monetary, as far as money goes.
Yeah.
But we're running a pretty big production. You see it, guys. We put a lot into this. We have lights and cameras and computers, and they're not. We're not. They're good, and I'm thankful for them. They're not the best.
But we have it though, at least.
We have it. We have what we have, and we're demanding a lot. I demand a lot of Justin. God demands a lot of me. Y'all demand a lot out of me. I demand a lot out of you, and we demand a lot out of our equipment. That's just the way it is right now. We'll get through.
Yep.
The important part is the message. Whether the lights go out, hopefully the cameras will still work, because I do like to get the message out on YouTube and on.
We've got there's plenty of ways
podcasts.
that we can record and figure out ways to get that information out there. It might be a little lower quality,
Hey, but
but
you know
the
what?
message is still there.
The word is the word.
Yeah.
This song, this song just came in my head. Grease is the word. Why did that song just come in my head? It's awful. It's awful. Good song. I mean, great musical.
Well, see, earlier when you were saying lights, camera, I went lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
Jasmine Sullivan.
Huh?
Jasmine Sullivan.
There you go. What do you think? Why don't you talk to me a little bit, Ronnie? What do you think about today?
Nice.
It was nice. Talk to me about it. What'd you feel? Anything?
Yeah.
Tell me what you felt.
I felt like Tim said, the underdog. I felt that it showed that there's possibilities for anyone to rise in ranks if they put forth their just tiding and effort, like Justin.
It spoke to you. Did it?
Yeah.
Did it speak to you personally?
Um,
I mean, I felt it when I wrote it. Obviously, it's.
what do you mean by like?
Well, I mean, could you relate to it on a personal level?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Because I know that these guys up here, they were like, yeah. I mean, they're talking about goosebumps, and they really got it, and they could see themselves in that position of failure, but still be able to rise from those ashes, right?
Especially whenever that's what we were talking about this past week. Was I brought up the too big to fail banks, and we had a hearty discussion about all of that.
It's amazing. It's amazing how these scriptures and how these sermons seem to somewhat coincide with our lives. No matter what we do, every week, there's always a little something going on that week that can blend in. Is it designed that way? Oh, I sure hope so. Hint, hint. The Bible's a kaleidoscope of interpretation. And there's no real, I mean, you can't say, well, that person's wrong because it's different from my view. Well, it's not. It's just a different view. And it's maybe another view of the same scripture that you can learn something else from.
Mm-hmm.
It's all different. I mean, when we look at a scripture and I'm writing a sermon, there are, whatever's going on in our lives at that time, pretty much I can relate it to something. Why? Because that's what the Gospels do. The Gospels relate to our lives. Now, just read the Gospels the way they are now, and you may not see that because you're kind of stuck back 2,000 years ago, and it's kind of hard to relate to that time. But when we can pull it in, that's when we have the sermons. We can pull it together and say, look, okay, this is what happened then, but let's talk about what that means now.
The 2 Corinthians today was a big one on that one. That I will boast.
The last line of that one, by the way, got me pretty good.
There was on behalf of such a one I will boast, but on my own behalf I will not boast, except of my weaknesses. But if I wish to boast, I will not be. Like it just kind of
Your weaknesses.
It
You're
feels like
boasting of your weaknesses.
It feels like it just if you're reading it out loud, it comes across as it just kind of circling itself, and
It is. It's almost like I'm ranting of a madman there for a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, and oftentimes my brain is just like that's.
Just imagine yourself saying it, and then look. Just because you say don't boast, it doesn't mean don't be proud. I mean, that's something we need to remember. I want to make sure you got that. Be proud. You don't have to be boastful, but you have the right to be proud for who you are and what you've done. But the last line. Read the last line of that verse, please.
Therefore, I'm content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities for the sake of Christ. For whenever I am weak, then I am strong.
For whenever I am weak, then I am strong. Where's that? Go to my room and grab that off my bed. hang on the wall. It says there's a not the wisdom one near that. It's a thing that says, I am strong because I am this because I am. Go grab it off the wall in there and bring it in here.
Behind.
Right next to my nightstand. I want to make sure I read it right. And this, I mean, actually, I've got this framed in my room back there to remind me. And you know, you guys see a lot of frames around here, a lot of things up. You know, I don't put things up lightly. I really do. I know it look like a bunch of stuff up there, but it's all put up there with thought. Everything that goes on the walls here is done with thought, with intent.
I just had a real bad time.
Huh?
You don't put things up lightly because you have to hammer it in real hard.
Oh Lord, here we go. Okay.
Hey, I'm tired. I didn't say that I would be intelligent while I'm tired.
Okay. This is not my writing, obviously, but this is a little poem that when I need a little uplifting, this helps. I am strong because I am weak. I am beautiful because I know my flaws. I am a lover because I am a fighter. I am fearless because I've been afraid. I am wise because I have been foolish. And I can laugh because I've known sadness. This is talking about that, you know, we're talking about that thing again, that equalization, right? It's talking about the I know this because I know this. And well, we all want to know these good things, this joy and happiness and love and all those wonderful things in here. In order to find those good things, we all have to experience hate and loneliness,
Loss.
and loss and despair, all the things. Both of these, although we only think about this one as one, both of these are gifts from God. So there we are. There it is again. We need to trademark that. Can y'all feel that? When I say those things, can you see yourself knowing that? I think that last line just really, I mean, it popped at me, especially when it was said, when the reading was done. And the first thing I thought of was that poem. Because it's true, I am strong because I am weak. And that's what makes me strong. That's what talking about that. It's all coming together now, guys. You see how it all goes in a circle. It's the things I've been talking about all along. And you see, that's not my writing, but it talks about the same thing. You know, that's the wisdom of life.
It's when you're weak, then you need your when you're weak, you need your strength the most.
Usually, but how do you know you're strong unless you've experienced weakness?
That you've been able to come up with how to combat that weakness, to become strong once again.
How do you truly appreciate love if you've never lost it?
Because you don't know how much you love that person until it's just dropped off. Or
You take things for granted is what we're saying.
You don't know how low you've been until you can come back out of it again as well.
True.
And that's when we come in. Right? We talked about that a couple weeks ago, about relationships, especially ones in the church here. Strong family relationships and familial relationships are great. Friends are great. But we don't always have that. And sometimes, even when we do, we need someplace a little different. We need somebody that can hear us with open minds and
A different type of...
not being at home, right?
Mhm.
Because when you're home, they hear you differently. They see you differently. They judge you differently. Sometimes we need to just look in each other's eyes and go, I've been there. And not, because I don't know any of y'all when y'all were in your diapers.
Mhm.
Thank God none of y'all knew me when I was in my diapers. So,
Well,
you might still have that day coming.
coming.
You might still have that day coming. Always kind of a little circle of life there. And back to it, right? Oh, Lord help us. I don't want to think about that.
Well, you keep thinking about it, so...
Well,
Science has come too far, Mark.
let me tell you something. I will be honored if I make it to that point in my life where I need diapers again.
Well, that's not until at least another year or so.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Oh, Lord.
Actually, a good joke from you. It's amazing.
Hey, he sung well last week. He
You
made
know,
a joke.
At my
He made a joke this
always,
week.
always at my expense, though. You notice, right?
No. Sometimes it's just
Getting sharper, are we?
Lord, that is one scary day when Tim can make a joke. Twice in a row.
I'm waiting for the lightning. I'm waiting for lightning to strike us because something's got to happen here.
Hey, we've already had far too many fires in this apartment.
You're right. You're right.
True.
So, look, very important message today about family, about being. Because look, you're always going to get judged differently. Your mom and pa, they saw you a little differently than it's like my father. I don't think he'd come to service and really listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's always going to see me as his son.
Yeah.
And it's going to
Even
be
Aunt Patsy, same way.
Yeah.
She was a little more open-minded. She's probably the most open-minded family member I have when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
She came. When she tells me all the time, I'm so proud of you. This is a devout Catholic woman. I'm a recovering Catholic.
Mm.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. That means the world to me. And let me tell you something. I'm proud of you guys because y'all are here. And it's not easy to always be here. I know that. Believe me, I know that. And there's times that I want to run away and just be gone for the weekend, you know?
Amen.
But I can't do that, for myself. And I'm going to be selfish here. This is huge for me. I've told y'all that. I can't run away from this.
We got to have at least two more people.
Y'all got to put some butts in these seats.
We need at least two more people doing the church leadership up here with us before we can start taking vacations.
So that's y'all. So find your replacements. Fill these seats up. Put somebody in them.
We need some vacation time.
We've been going for 2 years now without, and I've missed one service because I was in the hospital. Okay, I'm not trying to be boastful about that.
That is not a vacation.
I do it because I love it.
Right.
But everybody has their limits, and it's very hard for me to let go of control. It is. We know that.
Well, like even me and that computer, yeah, that's.
It's hard to let go of that control, but I've done so far. It was hard for me with you. When I gave you the program and gave you the PowerPoint and said, "Here, this is my babies, make it happen," and you got it. But now I'm giving up more control because you're taking the deacon position. God. And I'm not saying it's going to be a whole big difference. You're already doing most of it now. You get a little more honor now because you get to participate
On camera and
more in the service,
front
and you get to be more of a visible leader than just behind the scenes. I'm telling you something. Behind the scenes, you're invaluable. I mean, you have been. I hate to keep just throwing praises your way, but I'm not trying to kiss your butt or anything. I'm just trying to tell you. Look, I mean that. I mean, I couldn't have done this near where we are right now without you. Seriously, and you, all of you. I mean, even you were there. Everybody that's ever been here, that's ever participated, that's ever talked about this church, is a part of us, whether they're here now or not. Gavin's not here. I'm sorry that he's not here because he's not feeling well. But Gavin's Gavin, and we accept that. We love it when Gavin's here because Gavin really brings a lot of life to the room.
So much
He does.
energy.
He changes the energy. I'm pretty dull when it comes to that. I'm serious. I mean, I can bring some energy, but I'm serious. I'm the serious type.
Mm-hmm.
He can bring a little bit comedic relief, I guess, to the thing, and drive me crazy at the same time because that just doesn't work with me. I don't know what are you talking about.
Well, then with Caleb, God, that was half of our emotion as well on some topics. And
I tell you, Caleb is he's a ball of emotion. But he's discovering.
at the same time, he's got a fairly solid head on his shoulders.
He does, but
which is genuinely surprising.
He's got a solid head. Just because we know doesn't mean we.
Yeah.
We know. Just because we know up here doesn't mean we know in here. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to tell you that when Ronnie and I were on our way to Aldi the other night, we ran into a lady randomly in the parking lot. I think she lives here. But she asked us, she said, "Hey, who are y'all?" basically, in a nice way. And we told her about the church, and we gave her a card. And who knows? She said
She's supposed to do.
She said she was very interested, and she was going to come and try us out. So,
did you get her name?
That would have been good.
It would have been great.
Well, I'm sure she introduced herself, and of course I never remember the name.
She
But
saw,
I don't
she saw two guys, because we both had the short shorts, and I had a turquoise and he had a blue shirt, so it looked like we were like Jehovah's.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, that could have been, yeah.
And we were walking, so I guess she thought.
Can you describe the lady?
Larger, heavy-set black woman.
Oh, probably lives right across the way.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know her. She's a very nice lady.
Very cool.
She thinks that Scott is my father.
Oh.
Yeah, she likes gay.
So she always says, "How's your dad?" You know, yeah, he's fine.
She's outgoing and kind of like, open.
She is. She very much watches the neighborhood. She's kind of the one that when it cools off a little bit, she'll be sitting out there on her porch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sunset, so I guess
She was surprised about the 3 p.m. time, but she was open to that. She said it would be good.
It's good for some people. We got to fill a niche.
Yeah.
I don't like mornings.
She kind of gives that Gavin, a little black woman.
Oh, Lord.
I can see that.
Oh, God.
I can see that.
Gavin would just turn
She's a neat lady. She's
very outgoing. I was kind of shocked when she called her. So,
yeah. Oh, she'll yell across the parking lot at anybody.
But if you put them in the same room, and Gavin would be competing with her.
Gavin would turn into a black woman.
God.
Yes.
Gavin would turn into a large black woman.
That's
It
like
would be,
It's like two microphones and a room of speakers.
No, that wouldn't work.
I'm so glad you said. I didn't know if it'd be right for me to say it. So I'm so glad.
I'll tell you, Gavin would turn into a black
And
woman.
he identifies with.
His name would be Gigi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark, what you do?
He actually introduced himself to a neighbor of mine at one point as, "Hi, I'm Gigi."
Oh, God. Well. Yeah.
But Gavin, yeah.
This will have a good.
Thank God she was hard of hearing. She said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Since Gavin's the choir director, we'll have a good gospel base for our songs.
Let me tell you, it takes all kinds, guys. Like I've told you again and again, if we were all the same, this would be a real boring life and we wouldn't learn a damn thing. Because we all know everything at that point. We know each other. We know, what is there to learn? So, take our differences as blessings. Although sometimes they grate on our nerves. Without them, life would be really boring.
Very much so.
Well, it would literally be pointless.
It would be, because then what are we? Just robots. Do the same thing. Kind of like a school of fish.
Well, just even then, they're the school of fish. Each fish inside of that's doing their own.
You're right. Yes.
A few services back,
Okay.
you said we should always be startled
Mm.
in the presence of our faith.
Absolutely.
And so, like, I feel if someone is making you nervous, you're pretty much startled. You're not afraid. You're just startled. You're nervous.
Okay.
And if they're weighing on your nerves, that's just as good as being, well, I want to say just as good, but it's just as powerful, just in a different, more lighthearted, startled.
Well, not necessarily.
That was some time.
Well,
that was some time
staying
ago.
startled.
Things grate on my nerves. I mean, there's some things that grate on my nerves.
Not in that sense, but on your nerves, but it relates with the faith. It isn't.
Seriously, there are things that about my faith that do the same thing. Talking about on that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's a reason things grate on your nerves. Okay, and it's a good thing because change is hard for all of us.
Mhm.
We know that change, being complacent and being comfortable and being the same every time is easy because that's easy. We kind of just sink into that and just kind of get that comfortable. And just okay, I'm gonna sit right here.
And that is a very interesting form of startled. I wouldn't even have thought of going that route.
You know how many times I said startled in that sermon?
But
Many times.
Like 49 or 50 times, 51 times, something like that. I said the word startled.
I did, yeah. That was fun.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that is.
But it proved the point. It's startled. Be startled at Jesus Christ.
But the fact that that someone else was able to come up with even another way that I wouldn't have thought about that phrase, even though I was just
What
thinking,
phrase is that?
Even though I was just thinking that
Reiterate what
that's
he said.
exactly what being irritated is about, is learning from that irritation and seeing.
Why
what
are
you
we
need to
being
get from
irritated?
that.
Why is it irritating us? Is it
It's-
irritating us
it's-
to change, or is
it's
it irritating
startling.
us to change them?
It's startling us into whatever we need to be startled for.
Right. But there's a reason. It's bringing your attention to something.
Yeah, your faith needs a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like we talk about what? How do you know right from wrong? What is it that makes you know?
You have to do both.
Is that
Guilt.
uncomfortable?
Guilt is a gift from God. You may not think about it when when you're guilty. It hurts.
It's a way to be startled.
But yeah, it's a way to go, oh, wait a minute, I shouldn't be doing this. We know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm telling you, if you don't know, there's guilt to tell you every time. If you feel guilty about something,
Yeah, it might not be right.
probably need to take a look at it.
You need to take a look at it, deal with it, and move on from it. Though you don't need to.
Agreed, but you need to learn. No.
I've known a lot of
Learn
people
from it.
I've known a lot of people that nurture their guilt. They carry it with
Right.
them. They,
But you have to learn from it.
Yeah.
That's that,
Oh,
that
very-
festering word.
You have to learn from it. And
You
move
hold
on.
that down there. You keep pushing that down inside your craw. What's it going to do? It's going to fester.
You have pulled out more old man words today,
Your crawl,
just off the cuff.
Maybe
There
I
was a couple in the sermon.
Davenport, duvet.
maybe somebody's channeling, some older gentleman channeling himself to me. Some southern gentleman trying to get through to me today. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like an old man today. You know, it was rough. It was a rough weekend, a rough week all the way around.
Yeah.
A lot happened this week. A lot of emotion. A lot of changes. A lot of
New emotions and new changes.
a lot of big things happened this week. A lot of big things happened this week. You know, me letting go and having a deacon is not only a relief to me, but it's very difficult. For me to let go. This is my baby. You know, this is something that, you know, it was my. I gave it freely to you, all of you, but still, you know, it was my baby.
Yeah.
And for me to like hold on to that control of it, you know, like any parent shouldn't do.
Listen, but see, the other thing though is that you also realize I'm just as obsessive with as you.
You're
are.
right.
Probably even more so in certain regards.
But the hard thing about that is we don't always agree. We don't see face to face. We don't see eye to eye. And
but we get over it.
We work through it.
We work through it, and we end up being better friends.
I think so.
Because of all of that.
Because we respect each other's differences.
And then we laugh about it because that's all you really can
I
do.
hope that
at the
y'all
end of it.
respect each other's differences. There's some yes.
I agree with what Justin said. Like, respect each other's differences to a fault. That no matter how, because we have the base understanding of what Christianity is,
We do.
and we're in a modern society, and
We are.
kind of young in the retrospect of the majority of the world's Christians. So our outlook on Christianity, we want to be more open-minded. I think
Majority of the world is not Christian.
of the world's Christians. That's
Okay, the majority of the world's Christians.
Right,
Okay, yes.
and their Christian belief.
Okay, is what?
It's like set into what the Bible says and their interpretation. I think our interpretation might be a little bit more.
Well, but there are some core values.
That's what I think, yeah, too important for religions to kind of like start talking to each other.
Oh, I agree, 100%. And you talk about these base religions, these major religions, they're all teaching the same thing. The stories may be a little different. The words may be a little different. The names may be a little different. But what we talked about that. What is the reason for the Bible? What is the reason for the stories? The reason is not who wrote them or who's talking about them or who said it or what names they are. The reason is to learn the lesson. To learn how to live. To learn how to give. To learn how to be.
Yeah, I was like getting at that just to say I wanted to put forth the effort today to kind of like make amends and show up to service because
I'm going to tell you something straight up. I was both pleased, extremely pleased, and a little shocked.
my shocked.
Before he was here on his lunch break, and like it didn't fully hit me till literally just now. He looked me in the eyes and he goes, "I'm going to get off work early. I'm going to be here."
And you were.
And it didn't hit me until just now.
I was shocked.
What you were saying.
I was shocked because you and I had some pretty strong words earlier today, and what I consider basic Christianity. It's 10 Commandments, right? We talked about that. We had a little bit of disagreement. That's okay. We had some strong words though,
But
and for a lot of people,
And it didn't end to my liking.
I know it didn't.
Like,
I walked away because I knew that it wasn't going to go any further than that right then.
and most people would not have shown back up.
That's what I'm saying. Most people,
That takes a lot.
they hold that grudge against me and say, why would I listen to that idiot?
No, if you pour water over someone's head and you identify that as your baptism, and it's not water, it's
Just a symbol.
It's anointed.
You're anointed. And I had the honor of doing that with you.
Yeah, but I understand what anointed means. For me, it has a higher caliber than a tiffy as far as a friendship or something like that. So when you say bring a friend to church, those friends are very few and many. And so the effort into finding those type of Christians takes, I guess, twice as much effort, you know.
It does.
To
Which is
engage.
why we're still such a small group, I think. I mean, look, we've had people come and go. Did they like what they liked? They liked it. They liked what they saw. Why are they not still here? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't their time yet. Maybe this wasn't their just completely to their. They weren't quite comfortable with what's going on yet.
And themselves, you think?
Yeah, and even us. I mean, they may not be as comfortable with the openness we share here. Some people aren't comfortable with doing this kind of service after the service and sharing what we do. They want to go to service. They want to read their prayers. They want to do what they have to do, and then they leave and go home.
We're going to go step 1, step 2, step 3.
Right, and that's it. And to have this uncertainty every week, I mean, I don't script anything about the roundtable. I walk out blindly just like you do. The only thing I ever script is, what do you like? What do you not like? What do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? That's it. Everything else is up to wherever the wind takes us. And I'll tell you, it's taken us some pretty crazy places. But it's also taken us a lot of places that brought a lot of knowledge and understanding and compassion and love and laughter and joy.
Tears.
All of those things. Invaluable times.
Church can be a really, I could see church being a very intimidating prospect for a lot of people. Like, you know, to commit to a church means you're also committing to, if you take it seriously and you take it all in, you're also committing to maybe a whole new way of life.
Well, you are committing to a whole new way of life.
Right. And a lot of people, or some people,
are comfortable in their own lives.
That, or they don't want to take that on.
They're comfortable not changing.
No, there's the flip side of they were brought up in a bad environment, or they were treated poorly by the quote Christians, and so they've got such a horrible taste in their mouths for anyone who could.
And that's our job to change that. It's our job to show them that, hey, you know what? That's not what Christianity is about.
And I mean, we're sorry for that you've been through that. Come here, and you can see it's drastically different.
It's a lot different. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are similar.
But that's because we like some of the pomp and circumstance that comes with it. It requires some of that, like you said,
But don't let
some of that reverence.
But don't let that, just because we are similar in those ways to other churches,
does not mean in any way that we think or act the same.
I mean, I would describe our way of thinking as very progressive.
That's what I was looking for.
Progressive.
Progressive Christianity.
You know, like the soup. Progressive soup. I always want to
Or
say
the insurance.
progressive soup with the DULC logo on it.
Yeah.
Right. Why? Because we don't need to be stagnant.
We're way more progressive insurance on this regard. We're building up that coverage for your soul there.
Very nice.
Very good, Justin.
Very good.
I'm
Justin.
sick, and I got that out of my head.
I applaud.
Look, times change.
Yes.
We change. Churches change.
Hopefully for the better.
I won't be here forever. You won't be here forever. We do this so that hopefully
We can pass it along.
we can pass it down and hopefully grow with that, so people can see that, hey, you know what? We're Christians, and here's what we believe, and we evolve. And if I come to this church in 50 years, it should be
It should be completely different.
so drastic because we're different. The times are different. The prayers should be different. Quit regurgitating these words that you've been taught and shoved down your throat since this tall.
Find some way to change it and
pray-
mean the same.
Pray words that you know. Look, I'm thinking about the words. I'm not just reciting memorization bullshit, right? I'm sorry, but when from this tall, when you're just told, okay, this is what you say, this is when you stand, this is when you kneel, this is when you do that.
That little
baloney.
That block of text has
Because when you say that stuff, and every Sunday you're just repeating that stuff, and you haven't prayed. You don't even know what you're saying anymore.
You're just regurgitating.
Just regurgitating somebody else's words.
Yep.
I like your for a Catholic, reformed Catholic.
Recovering. I'm a recovering Catholic. Like a recovering alcoholic.
Right. You're quite opposite of how I identify a Catholic. Being a Southern Baptist growing up, it was like not so much to remember and to retain. It was more like get pinched if you move while deacon or bishop is speaking, and don't get out of that hard bench. And
we have to go to church because we have to go to church, and there's no other reason why.
So that you get a piece of candy as a reward. If you don't, So
Look, yeah, I'm telling you.
I like the fact you allow the benches to be soft. It's like,
Well, There's a reason that there's a reason the pews are uncomfortable. There is. There's a reason for it.
There's a reason for uncomfortability in your Christianity.
Listen to me.
It's crazy.
Let me tell you what. Let me get through this. It's very easy to get relaxed and comfortable, and the whole idea of the pew is to remind you that you need to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be. Sometimes it takes a little bit of uncomfortability to make you
Have it absorb through those cracks that
to keep your mind awake, to keep
Yeah.
your body awake, to keep you aware, keep you alert of what's going on. There's something's going on in front of you. When you get too comfortable and you get relaxed on the couch
you
and you watch TV,
You get that fuzz in front of you that stops stuff.
we've seen this face over here so many times.
Oh, sleepy?
And it's still, I mean, that's the whole idea behind that. It's not to make you uncomfortable for just making you uncomfortable. It's making you uncomfortable so that you are alert.
Startled once again.
So you're alert. You know, let me tell you something. I can sleep anywhere. You know, pews anywhere. I don't matter to me. So
And for those of us who have severe ADHD, that's just more of a, oh my god, this is all I can think about.
and that's all you can think about is that damn pew and that wood and that how it's hurting your tailbone. Okay. Well, you know, it is what it is. That was the idea behind it. It works for some, it doesn't for some others. You know, I don't think I will ever have a straight wooden pew in my church. It'll either be, you know, some cushion chairs or, I mean, is it going to be the most luxurious? You're not going to have these leather couches always in the church either, the way we have it set up here, right? It doesn't work that way. So, yeah, that's the idea behind that. You know, I consider myself a recovering Catholic because I see that it doesn't work for me, the things they've done. I don't believe in the fact that you can put stipulations on something, on a gift that was not yours to give.
Not to mention all the other stuff.
Let me tell you something. Jesus Christ said, take this, all of you.
All of you.
He didn't say, only if you go to church every Sunday, and only if you go to confession, and only if you do this, and only if you do that. That's not what he said. So how can anybody else take that gift that he gave us and put those stipulations on it? They can't. It's impossible. They cannot take his gift and then re-gift it and say, we're going to put these rules on it. It's not the way it works. The gift is from him.
Yeah.
It always is from him. We're just administering it. We're just passing it along. We're just giving it out for him.
We have no right to say
We have no right to say change it. You can't just say, okay, but yeah, he said this, but we're going to add this on top of it. Baloney. That's why our church welcomes all.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes, no matter what. Not just at service, but to communion.
Yep.
Take this, all of you. Even to baptism, I offer to everybody.
Because I mean, no matter how dirty you are, that's the point of the baptism, is to be cleansed of all of that.
And if you can say the words that we say in the baptism and repeat the words we say and believe those words, then why shouldn't you be baptized? Maybe it's your changing of your life, cleansing. And I think you can be baptized at any age you want. You can be rebaptized if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being rebaptized. I think a lot of times it's a
You don't even have to be able to say the
Just a little-
words.
just a little
You could be
rejuvenation, a little revamping, a little, you know,
you could be-
retreading, as Steve might say.
You could even be incapable of speaking the words.
Like a baptism can be cool, like after graduation, to give your new degree and your new path into life.
But we don't take it lightly, though. We don't take it lightly. It's, I mean, honestly, it's very, very serious, very, very serious time. How you doing over there?
Oh, good.
Okay. What are you thinking about?
I'm sorry.
You're hungry.
I'm sorry.
That's Tim.
I'm sorry.
It's either
I'm
hungry,
sorry.
it's either hungry or he's sleepy,
Or the bathroom.
or the bathroom.
He's
Those
got-
two-
as he comes in the door, gotta go to the bathroom.
every time he walks in the door here, can I use the bathroom? I think you just like my bathroom.
Very comfortable.
It is a nice bathroom.
Got a nice cushion seat now in there, you know.
The bidet.
Yeah, the bidet. It's got a beautiful bidet.
The temperature control over there.
Mm-hmm. Which, the
Hey, come to our church. We've got a nice bathroom.
if nothing else, we do have that.
Watch that be a thing like meetings like 50 people.
Oh.
Get
You know what? I don't care why they come.
Get cleansed in more ways than
Get them in the
one.
door. If you get them in the door, I guarantee we can make them stay. So if it's meant to be, if they're meant to hear the word that we're trying to throw out there, well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of closed minds out there that could hear us and maybe wake up.
Yeah.
We do
Or-
things
or
differently.
Even if they don't wake up, maybe be a little bit nicer or have a better outlook on certain on things.
But it's not always about being nice either. Yeah, we talk about that. It's not always about being nice.
Stop being kind.
being kind.
About being Christ-like.
Well, Christ wasn't always nice.
No, I didn't say that. I said it's about being
You're right.
Christ-like.
What is a Christian? What is the definition of Christian?
Being Christ-like.
Christ-like. Christian. Christ-like.
He loves from both, from the whole spectrum. That's not being nice.
Love is
being
all
right.
encompassing, right? Love. Okay, we talk about tough love all the time, right? We talk about you have to. God is going to punish you if you do something wrong. He is. Is he going to punish you justly? Hell no.
We should be
You know how I know that? Because he lets us get away with murder, just about. You know, don't take it the wrong way, people. Come on, now look.
Well, I mean,
He lets us get away with a lot of things, and the punishment never is strong enough for what we do.
we did technically murder his son, so
We did.
That kind of.
He let us get away with it. Listen, thank you for saving me on that one. Look, people say to me, God's not fair. God's not fair. You're right. God's not fair. He should have wiped us off this earth a long time ago.
Right.
And we continue to sin and continue to rebuke him.
So how is what you're doing fair to him?
That love that we have, that we say that we give, and all this, it came from somewhere. It didn't just come out of the air. I talk about this. If you don't have that love for yourself, you got to learn to accept that love from God that he's given you. Until you can learn to accept that love from God and take it and be selfish with it, let it envelop your whole, envelop your entire body, your entire psyche, your entire soul, all of you. Once you do that, then you can realize that you can give that love away. So many of us try to say, I love you, and give that love away when we have empty pockets. There's nothing there. There's no love in our pockets. There's
Come
no
in the
love in
door,
our hearts.
screaming baby and stuff like that. And
We all have our own little
issues.
our little things that grate our nerves. What's the whole idea of being here? What's the whole idea of coming to church? Why are you on this earth?
To live Christ-like lives.
Love and worship God. Serve and worship God. How else can you do that but to love yourself first of all? Because that's the love He given freely, unconditionally. He gives unconditional love. Take that in. Quit trying to block it out. Quit trying to say you're not worthy. Quit trying to say, no, Lord, I can't. Take the love He's giving you. Bring it into your heart. Bring it into your souls. Let it make you smile.
Love yourself after that point.
Then keep that love going by passing it on to everybody else you know. Wow. That love, you know what? That just keeps, the bank just keeps building. Because the interest just grows and grows and compounds and all this. And the love just overflows from you after a while. And you realize, wow, I love myself so much. But it's not about me being selfish because I love all these other people too.
You get love. You get love.
Love's amazing.
You all get some love.
Love is amazing. So is hate.
That's amazing.
No, amazing. Amazing is the most perfect word when you really think of what amazing is. Amazing, it does not mean joyful. Amazing means something grand.
And they both, the yin and the yang. We talk about that. The equalization of the universe. You cannot truly know what this is without knowing what this is. You've got to experience both to appreciate both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, our emotions, we're just still living down here, which is where we normally live, in emotion. We have our emotions down here on the pendulum. It's kind of okay. But when we want to experience those, we want to experience that love, that love. That, you know what I'm talking about, that love. You got to know this.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us have seen this. Most of us have seen this. Most of us don't see this. Why not?
Is it hate?
Hate,
Love?
love. Most of us have seen the hate.
Probably because we fear what love. If we see the love that's equal to that hate, if we pursue that love,
It's the fear of losing it.
That fear of that pain.
Go back, could reverse on itself.
That's right. The fear of that pain. That pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Once we know that pain, we put up a brick wall to try and stop us from having that pain again. But when we do that, what do? We're also putting a brick wall against love.
We don't need no border
Well, it
wall.
usually comes from like jealousy or
Yeah, we don't.
fear or something that emotion that gives you a preset when you're already in that love. Love is cool, everything's good, but you see something that has already happened that was painful.
Sabotaging ourselves by remembering our
Before
past.
it even happens.
You're right. We do it all the time. In a lot, not just love, in all aspects of our life, we sabotage ourselves.
what hurts the
Our
most?
past is meant for us to learn from. Our
Not-
past is meant for us to grow from,
Not to
not
hide
to hinder us. Yes, there are times that be more cautious. Don't put your hand on that hot stove.
Third time.
Huh.
Yeah, it's,
But
I
it's
didn't
like,
do it after that.
but you're only gonna be able to like. It's gonna take you to get burned to know that.
Right, which is why don't put your hand on that hot
It
stove.
doesn't always take a person to get burnt to know, because there are people who can't feel that
Well,
learn that you
remember
can't
this.
touch it.
Remember this. Remember I said earlier about listening to your elders and how hard it is sometimes to listen to your elders? Let me tell you something. I've put my hand on that stove many a time. And I can tell you over and over and over again, don't put your hand on the stove. That's one of those things you're either going to listen to me, which you're probably not, but you're going to go, oh, I got this. What are you talking about? I'm quicker than you, old man. Watch me. And you get burnt.
I touched the stove accidentally, on purpose, and without knowing.
And you sabotage your own self because you didn't listen.
But those 3 times, the lesson got downloaded, so now I know it's still it's really hot. So
It's hot. Protect yourselves, but give your love freely. You'll find that if you are able to give that kind of love, you don't need to protect yourselves. You're already protected. Because love begets love, begets love, begets love, begets love. And even when the people upstairs are noisy and they get on my nerves too, they don't know if they're doing anything wrong. If they do, so what? At least we know people are alive up there.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for me this week, guys?
I love you.
I love all of you. I do. It's Valentine's Day or something in here, but it's not. It's in the middle of July.
We've got yellow and white flowers and Valentine's.
Don't forget to love yourself.
I love you too.
Love you first.
He loved you first.
Give that love away. Once you have it, hold on to it. Because even love can fester inside you. Love is meant to be given away.
That's true.
So let's close out with a little prayer. Oh! Wait a minute.
I was about to say.
Hold on!
Oh, I was about to say. I was going to wait till you finished, but
Here's what we do. I'm going to give you one more week. This is an important topic. Men for others. Men for others. Men and women for others.
We might honestly end up doing like a middle of the week kind of a thing.
I know, but I want to do this Sunday. This next Sunday, we're going to talk about. I'm going to put half of the time away. We're going to talk about being men and women for others.
Why don't you make it the sermon so that we definitely
Because it's got to fit.
Definitely end up talking.
Well, let's see. Let me look at what the scripture readings are for next week, and we'll see if it fits.
if it was a sermon, then he'd be doing all the talking. He wants us to do
I
something.
want y'all to do some thinking here. It's already written out what it is. I just want to discuss it. That's all I want you to do is read it on the damn website, and then come in and we'll talk about it.
That is not no damn website. That's our website.
You're right.
Very much. But I've not had anything.
Okay.
And
All right. So yeah, let's.
Deacon Putain speaks.
Huh?
Deacon Putain speaks.
He's not deacon yet. Deacon elect. All right. Let's bow our heads. Father in heaven, we thank you for this gift of community you've given us, for the gift and the ability to come together so freely and speak our minds and speak our emotions and the ability to hear each other and learn from each other. You know, so many people in so many different ways are limited, not only by themselves and what they allow themselves to do, allow themselves to hear, allow themselves to share, but by oppression from outside sources all over this world. We are truly blessed to have the freedom that we have here, to sit within these walls and share your love with each other. I only ask, Lord, that you help us now to share that love outside of these walls and to bring more in so that the growth and the giving and the love never, ever, ever ends. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you next week at 3 p.m. God bless you all. I love you.